Okay, something else I wanted to share today is the proper adjustment and where I want these on a horse's mouth when I set them in there. And just to touch on quickly, these are similar to the popular no-hit bits. Personally, for my hands, the no-hit bit, it's too curved for me, and my reaction time with that particular setup is too slow. And I want immediate reaction, immediate feel, but also immediate release when I let it go. So for my hands, these Carter collectors are better. The shank is straighter, therefore a more direct cue sooner, in my opinion. I am not, the no-hit stuff is great. It's just I am not the most educated at using that because I'm not that crazy about the feel. So what I want to do is show you how I want this on these horses, colts, finished horses, whatever. And I always, too, something else that you see all the time. I see someone bridling a horse, and while they're bridling the horse, these reins are hanging down just like this. That horse, if she spooks or strikes at a fly, she can hang it up in here, and then she's going to tear her mouth up whenever she, comes back up. So I always, if I've got some reins, say, that won't unsnap, just like I did, I always have my arm in here as I'm putting it on so that horse can't do that. Or if you're worried about it, just unsnap it so that if something freaky happened, that they wouldn't get their foot through here and you have a wreck. Like with my little girl, everybody at the clinics is safety first. I don't care. Safety above everything. This is where I want these bridles to sit. And something else, when I put a new bridle on a horse, I will not throw a brand new something on them and get on and pull it on their face. I'm going to put a new bridle on them, and I'm going to step back about right here, and I'm going to put my hands here, kind of about where I'd be riding, and I'm going to pull that horse's head around this way and the other way, and I'm going to see how they're going to react to that bridle, so that if it is an explosive reaction or a rear up reaction or something, I wasn't on their back and I could get away and out of the wreck. Especially if your horse hadn't had his teeth done for a year and a half or so, he could have an extremely sharp hook right here near the bit seat, and then when you pull with a bit or something, they could flip over. Some of them will do it because it hurts. So that's what I do. Now with these, I want this shank kind of snug. See how this was riding up? Sometimes I'll take it up right here. Other times, that's what this is for. You'll just take this out, untie it, and then just tighten it up. And then make it just a little bit more snug. Then that doesn't go up in her eye, and you have more of the lift and that bend in the rib. This mare is a longer mare. She's a real long-bodied mare. She's a streak of fling. And a lot of them I have had kind of bracy some, and they're longer bodied. They need a little bit more help with that rib, and I almost envision wanting their rib about the curve of this shank when they're moving, because if their rib can be bent and arced and you're elevated and you got their front end elevated, they can have more power with their inside driving leg coming around a turn than they can if everything's flat and bracy. So one other bit that is my most popular, that sells the most in my clinics, my phenomenal bit maker JD Morrow makes them for me. They're copies of some of the Elliots, but they're all different. He makes different adjustments, so they're not exact. They're more the feel and the mouthpiece and stuff that I want. So I love them. This is one of the first one he ever made for me. And the curb wasn't long enough when I got it, so I added my unique, fancy cord to it that you can only get custom made. So no one else will have one just like this. But this one also has, I haven't discussed, has a roller or a cricket, anybody, however you want to call it. Your nervous horses, worried horses, real mouthy horses, this gives them something to play with. I like the copper in these mouthpieces because it keeps that mouth moist and keeps things from drying out. So you just keep that feel and keep their mouth moist and nice. Okay, I get asked a lot on Facebook how put this where I want this bit. And I want it just like that. I don't want it hanging way down low in their mouth. I want immediate. When I touch them, I want it immediate. And if anything, I wouldn't be afraid to maybe even move this up a notch. But always, 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 if you're in question about where you've got your bit on your horse, put it on them, stand back here, pull on them as if you're going to be riding them, and see how that bit reacts and what it does, so the cue that you're giving. One other thing I haven't touched on, I know a lot of people, a lot of successful people also, when they put these bits in their horse's mouth, they'll say they don't want wrinkles or corners or anything. They want them, they'll drop it way down here in their mouth, well, like this, and they'll say, I want that horse to pick it up. I am not saying that's wrong. I mean, because you cannot argue with success. But what I will say is that drives me crazy if I'm on a horse, because I always, my scenario, which is, I know, silly, but I always imagine if the Indians were after me and they're after me and going to scalp me, and I'm running across the prairie, and all of a sudden I see something I can duck behind and I'm running wide open. I want to make that immediate contact to duck behind that tree and hopefully save my scalp. I don't want to wait and have this drag time. See how much longer that takes her to go ahead and bring her nose around than it did when I had it further up. It just, and so I want them more. I don't want them way up here grinning where they can't get any relief at all, which you can get away with that with these bits, but I just don't, I want them up in that horse's mouth to have that immediate contact when I need it, especially if they start bucking with you. So some of the other, this is another mouthpiece. It's one of my favorites that JD makes. It's got the copper and but it's got the chain links in it. I love this. This is actually my very favorite mouthpiece. You can hear her playing with the roller there. These also, they're very popular. I know Jolene and Molly Montgomery use these a ton. They're Kathy James. JD made this one for me with my favorite mouthpiece in it there with the chain links. I run in this one a lot. Streaking Boondocks is one a lot in this. This is, again, I don't know the size of the twist, but again, you can see the curve where they sit in the horse's mouth comfortably. And then this one is the chain. Now, to me, the chain, I really like it. And after several days in a row, you can get a little bit too much bite. And you have to get out of it and go to something else. Some people I've heard say, oh, it don't have much bite. But to me, after 3, 4, 5 days, I need to get out of it because they're almost a little bit sore sometimes. Then this is the first bit I believe JD ever made for me, other than my Ed and Martha Wrights, which he's made for years. I just didn't know, and I'm so blessed that I got to meet JD. And we have such a good working relationship, and half the time I think he thinks I'm crazy because I'll call him and say, hey, can we tweak this, that, and the other, you know, and 9 times out of 10, it feels phenomenal. Occasionally, I will be like, okay, don't ever sell a bit like that, you know. But, again, the first one he ever made me, and it's with the copper roller, and love it. Quickly, this I bought off Facebook, off Bit Auction. I really like the feel of it. I can't tell you who made it. But this bit in particular, again, and I learned it by standing right there, putting it on a horse and standing back and seeing how it would move, will pinch the crap out of a horse. I love the feel of it, but it would have been dangerous for me to have put this on without the bit guards and just got rode on. So that's why you always, you know, be sure and check that. It's important. Most of JD's bits all come with the bit guards. He's probably going to shoot me for this, but this is another one of my favorite mouthpieces that he's been making for me, and he used to tell me I wasn't allowed to show it, but the other day he said he was getting good at making them, so I think it's okay. back on just mouthpieces. This is, I think people call it a Billy Allen. You know, some of this terminology I may not say exactly. I'm not politically correct. I just know what fits my hands, what's helped my students at the clinics, and this, that, and the other. I don't use this one very much, but I know a lot of people are very successful in it. And every once in a while, I'll have a horse that just loves it. So again, I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So this is one in my arsenal that I will definitely keep. JD made me. And the other thing, this has becoming one of my favorite mouthpieces. It's just all dog bones, and it's got a little twist in the center of the dog bone. I have so far ridden this on 3-year-olds up to finished horses, and even one, I have a streak of fling gilding that's not the easiest thing to get along with, and he'll want to get mad at you and kind of bracy. He accepts this and works really nice, and there's not much drama to him with it. So for that reason, I'm really pleased. I rode my 3-year-old Slick by Design in it yesterday to see what it felt like, and felt great. He loved it. There wasn't any hesitation or resistance in his turns at all. It was fluid and smooth. So I'm really becoming a big fan of this one. Then this is another competition bridle that I really, really like. It doesn't even have a stamp on it. I don't know. I bought it off bid auction. Won a lot of money in it. So now it has the smaller twist, but it's curved in there some for the bars. This is a Merrill bit. I have a medium shank Merrill that has the dog bone with some chain that I really like it as a competition bridle too. All ages of horses so far have accepted it really nice. Really like it. This one, another JD bit with the cricket that I really like, and this has his headstall on it too. And then real quickly, I do like ported bridles if I need them. This is I'm running this right now on a mare that I got that was nothing but a barrel hitter. And these, you don't run in there worried about shaping their nose, this, that, and other. You keep that horse moving straight forward and keep the shoulders elevated up with it. It's a Charmaine. So far, any of her bits I've used are really good because I'm sure she put a lot of time and effort into getting them made and balanced and that sort of thing. So I've won a lot of money in this too. And this can be good for little kids that aren't very strong, that need some control on their horse, but for a heavy-handed person, I would not recommend it. This one here is one JD made for me. Now it has a square twist on the sides. It has a port in the middle with a roller. Streaking Boondocks, I exercised him in this a lot. He'd been roped on and won a bunch in the roping, so he accepted this really well and kept him tuned really well. A lot more immediate reaction from the side here because it's locked but has very little movement. I love these Mullen mouthpieces as well. If you've got a horse that's real noodly, a little bit too bendy, this, that, and the other, or for example, Streaking Boondocks at the shootouts 2 years ago, the first couple runs, he done good, made us back to the short round. But after that second run, I felt I could be a little bit quicker. So I ran him in this in the short round, and he ran one of the fastest times of the whole week. And he was just snappier. It snapped him up, and helped him. And we made that change kind of in the middle of a competition, and it worked out. I've done that in the past, and it don't work out. But that's why you use these, too, if you need to, flatten them up in their turn a little. And sometimes ground causes us to need to do it. Again, a Charmaine. Charmaine won the world in a bit like this, I don't know how many times. And it's got her name on it. These are so different to use, but they are worth the time to get educated to learn how to use it, because this is a great piece of equipment, but you won't just throw it on a horse and immediately think, have miracles happen. But this is a very good bit to have around and take the time, get with a professional and get educated if that's what you want to do. And something else Joe pointed out earlier, if you are ever in question about where your bit is, how your horse is reacting, find a professional somewhere, some area, message them on Facebook, offer to pay them something if you need to, put the bit on the horse, and have them answer questions. That's the best thing, because we can all learn. I'm still learning. I did a video like this a few years ago, and I have even more new bits and have learned even more new things. I try to learn new stuff every day. But that's just some of my competition bridles as far as the bits go that I really like to compete in and win in.
Okay, Tana, I wanted to thank you for your time. You just have so much information for the Barrel Racing Discussion Forum. Just want to stress to everybody that our professionals are volunteering their time to give their knowledge. But also, where can we contact you? Because you're a businesswoman. We know we want to bring some clients to you and answer questions.
Well, thank you, Joe, for asking me for this opportunity. I truly enjoy any way I can help riders and horses communicate better for a less stressful relationship for everyone. A friend of mine set up a Facebook page. We're just now growing it. It's called Fearless to First. There's a link on there that you can click on, and you can send me video clips of your problems, and I will answer 1 to 2 questions. A lot of times with a video, if you need that. Most problems I feel I can help you with. Sure, can't guarantee your results without visually seeing it, but I'd be glad to. So check out that Facebook page, Fearless to First. Also, you can find me promoting Streaking Boondocks, the AQHA World Champion heeling horse in 2011, and I've won lots of pro rodeo money on him, barrel races, that sort of thing. Phenomenal stallion. And also, I've got to thank my sponsors. I'm so blessed with them. They have stuck with me through thick and thin, broke bones and not, great success, upbeat things, and down in the dumps. So I'm like y'all, every time we can be positive and have any sort of positive anything, just like the Fearless to First, any kind of positive quotes, uplifting things, signs, things like that. I love those, being posted on there. But my great sponsors, Cowgirl Tough, Robbie Phillips Salary, and of course JD Bits. I cannot forget JD and Diane Morrow. Diane keeps JD all fed and everything so he can make our great bits. Brad Lesh and Cowhorse Supply, Rosie Bradley and Texas Oxygen, Simply Equine with Heather Benson is been a phenomenal addition to my program, and I couldn't keep my horses feeling good and do stuff without her. She's phenomenal. Shauna Turner with Supple Steeds, Gina Franklin with Magna Wave treatments. There, I've been seeing huge results in what I've been getting done there lately. Also, Equine Omega Gold, Stephanie and Kirkpatrick. I've always known how important it was with your omegas and this, that, and the other in these horses' feed. But that has so far been the best omega product I have fed, and all my customer horses get it, and I love it. Another product I wouldn't want to go without. But I just can't say enough. In Iconoclast boots, they've sure stuck with me through thick and thin as well. And I don't know what else to say other than I've enjoyed spending time with you guys today, and if there's anything I can try to help you with, just remember, no question is silly or stupid. We've all been there. Every successful barrel racer that runs down the alleyway at the NFR started out as a little girl loving horses and wanting to do it. So we're all in the same boat. We're all just at different levels. So happy we could help. I have been asked to do some clinics. There may be some more clinic information soon, and I really enjoy those. So all of my students, I hope you guys seen this, and look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, Joe.